So I'm going to go out at 4. I'm going to start going out at 4 each day because it's going to give us all something to do, isn't it? I want to learn my tech because I'm going to be live hosting a guitar gathering that I'm supposed to be going to, but obviously it's cancelled in April. This is April. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. Later on in the month, I would have been going to the RMMG gathering, but that's not happening for obvious reasons. So we're going to try and do an online version of the gathering. Not quite sure how to format that yet, but I need to know how the tech works first of all. So this is a good way for me to learn the tech and to show you some guitar, to do some free lessons for you if you're sitting at home bored. You know that 4 p.m. is guitar time on Acoustic Guitar I/O, and you can come and tune in. I'm looking for, well, I'm going to start out with beginners. I'm going to show you how to sit, how to hold the guitar, how to tune it, that kind of thing. And then we're going to start learning some tunes and some chords. So maybe I could make 4 p.m. the beginner's time, and if there's a song that you know I play that you would like to learn, or a song that even I don't play, I can learn it and maybe teach you some songs as well. So that's the idea. So I'm going to switch cameras with my new Stream Deck, which I'm still figuring out. So that's another piece of the tech that I have to learn how to work. So I'll put it back down. I'm going to push this button. It should switch my camera source. Right, so now I shall turn around and hopefully not ding my guitar. Before that though, I'm going to get my tuner out the drawer, because that's one of the things we're going to be doing. And I'm going to sit here with my acoustic guitar on my right leg. This is a steel string acoustic guitar, so I'm going to be talking about only that style. A classical nylon strung guitar would be played in a different way. Not drastically different. Well, actually, yeah, it would be quite drastically different from the way that you sit. Now, this chair's a little bit too high, but it works for my desk. Let me just, if I pop it down, then I'll be out of frame. So I should probably zoom the camera back a bit, actually. Let me just do that now, because I'd like you to see a bit more of my leg and that sort of thing. I'm just going to pull this curtain as well. So this very rough and ready, folks. You get what you get. I'm going to learn as I go. So how's that? Let's see how the guitar sits. I should probably drop it down a smidgen as well. Sorry, I should really have done this before I logged in, but hey ho. If you'll just bear with me a sec. This is live TV, folks. I'll drop that down a smidgen. And see how that looks. I think that should do. That should do. Maybe come down even a little bit more, because you don't need really to see the top of my head. You could do with seeing my knee. And drop it down just a little bit more to there. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's a bit better. So when you're playing guitar, you want to be on a chair that's comfortable, or a stool. I do have a Hercules stool that I like to play on as well. And you want your guitar to be on your right leg with the waist of the guitar resting on your leg like that. You want the guitar to be perpendicular to the ground. So obviously when you're playing, you can angle it to look at what you're doing, and if you're a beginner you will be doing that a lot to see where you're placing your fingers. But ultimately the goal is not to be looking at your fingers and to have your guitar perpendicular in this kind of manner. You want to be as relaxed as you can be. This can't be overstressed. If you're tense, it's going to come through in everything that you do. You want to have relaxed shoulders, so drop your shoulders down and just shake yourself out a wee bit, make yourself relaxed. Take your, obviously if you're right-handed, take your right arm. If you're left-handed, you'll be the other way around. And place it on the, this is called the upper bout of your guitar. And you want to be in a position where your elbow can swing freely like that, without all that much movement in your shoulder at all. And you place your fingers on the strings so that there's no tension in your wrist, there's no tension in your elbow, no tension in your shoulder. You can place your hand in that manner, take a claw shape, put your thumb on the thickest string, we'll get to that in a minute, and then place your fingers on the, I'm using pinky on the thinnest string, ring finger on the next, middle on the next, and then index on the next. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you a feel for the spacing between the strings and how the strings feel under your fingers. Playing guitar has a lot to do with feel, and it's something that I think a lot of tutors don't really go into very much. But feel and smell and sound, all the senses, touch, what's the other sense? Sight. Well, it's not so much sight actually, although if you've got a beautiful guitar like this, then sight is a big part of it because it's utterly gorgeous. But all of the senses should be employed when playing guitar. You want to feel it, you want to hear it, you want to listen to it, you want to smell it. I know that sounds a little strange, but when you have a nice guitar made from gorgeous wood, the smell's part of it. You keep your guitar in a case and you open the case, the first thing that, well, you see it first, then you smell it. The senses. And music is sensual, you know what I mean? Your, let's call it fretting hand. I'll try and get away from saying right and left. We're going to talk about picking hand and fretting hand, alright? So whichever side you're on, those terms will still work. So on your fretting hand, the same applies, loose shoulder. Have your elbow relaxed. Bring the elbow into the body. Have your forearm fairly straight, parallel to the ground. And then your hand, you're going to want to have your hand be, you can bring your thumb up on top, like that. This is one of the areas where it differs from classical style, because if you had a classical tutor and he saw you do that, he'd probably whack your wrist with a ruler. So your thumb can go over the top. It's all about being relaxed, right? That's the main thing to get from this lesson, is anytime you pick up your guitar, it should be a fun thing and you should be relaxed. It should be something that acts like therapy for you, something that makes you feel better than you felt before you started. That's how it's always been for me, and that's what keeps me coming back. You know, that's why I'm a musician, because whenever I pick a guitar up, I instantly feel better. And then you can lose yourself for hours and hours and hours. At the beginning, though, I know it's a bit of a chore, and I know you're going to be using muscles that you've never used before. You're going to be stretching your fingers into positions that they've never been in before. There's going to be some pain. I'm sorry, but there is. Don't play into the pain. Stop once it gets sore. I mean, that sounds obvious to some people, but if you're obsessive like I was, then you tend to ignore the pain and keep playing. And that's not a good thing. So if you find yourself getting tense up here, tension here, or you find your fingers, which is going to happen, the tips of your fingers on your fretting hand are going to start to bite, particularly the fingers that are fretting on the thinnest strings. They're going to start to bite you. It's going to get sore. Take a break. Over time, your fingers will start to develop hard skin or calluses, and you'll be able to play for longer and longer and longer without any pain. So, yeah, it's going to hurt, but it's worth it. It really is. So let's get on to the strings. When we talk about the numbers of the strings, the first string is the one nearest the floor, the thinnest. The sixth string is the thickest, the one nearest your chin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They have names, but we'll get to that in a second. The neck of your guitar has all these little metal, excuse me, metal fret wires, and these are called frets. And what they do is they allow you to change the pitch of the string depending on where you press the string down. In essence, what you're doing is you're shortening the string, which raises the pitch of the string. Okay? This part here at the end of the neck, where it joins the headstock, is called the nut. And that's a useful term to know because we will be talking about that in future lessons. This part here, the wood here, is called the bridge. These are bridge pins. These are what hold your strings in the guitar. The strings will come with ball ends, little round circles on the end, and the pins hold the strings in place. And the strings themselves break across this piece here, which is called the saddle. It's often made from plastic. This one's made from bone. You'll get them made from different materials, and you'll find guitar nerds on guitar forums talking about the different tonal properties of the material of your saddle and your pins. And yes, it does make a difference, but that's not for this show. Now the frets themselves, as they go up the neck, the distance between them gets smaller. So a 5 fret stretch down here is going to be harder to make than a 5 fret stretch up here. Okay? And when you get to the 12th fret, which is often indicated on a fingerboard by 2 dots, on this guitar it doesn't, you'll find often on the fingerboard itself there will be dot markers. This one doesn't have any, but it does have them along the top here, and that's the ones that the player looks at anyway. As a beginner, you might actually find yourself looking at the ones on the face if you know, when you're looking at what you're doing. But when you get to the 12th, on your guitar it might have 2 dots, on mine it has only 1. The notes start again. So that's really the octave from the nut to the 12th fret. So if you play that note, that's an E. If you fret at the 12th, that's another E, but it's a higher pitch, it's an octave higher. Okay? And you'll find the dot markers. This one's got 5, 7, 9 and 12. You'll sometimes get them at 3 as well. You might find some fancy inlay or some parallelograms or some kind of fretboard markers that help you to navigate around the fretboard. So when I say I want you to go to the 7th fret, which we won't be doing for a while, you know that it's the one with the dot. So you don't have to count, you use these as indicators to help you find your way around the fingerboard. So I'm going to finish this one by giving the string names and talking a bit about tuning. So I've already mentioned that that's an E. That's also an E. So your first string and your 6th string are an octave apart, and they're both E. I've heard different mnemonics for remembering the string names. I think the one I'll use here is, let's keep it friendly. We'll go with Eddie 8 Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. So that's what your strings should be tuned to. And at the moment my guitar is not in tune. It's almost in tune, but not close enough. Now, I recommend that you get yourself a headstock tuner. I did used to sell them at the post office. Obviously, I no longer do that because I don't run the post office anymore. But this one cost, I think it was a tenner on Amazon. It's made by Snark, but there are lots and lots and lots of different types of tuners. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to come across and shine the tuner into the camera lens and let you actually see what's happening. I'll give it a go. I'll see if I can sit on the back of the chair and monitor myself on the computer screen. It's actually a little dim, this one. I could have done with changing the battery on it. Let's see if we can. There we go. So you see how it's going just above the green zone. That means that it's a little sharp. So we want to loosen the string, which we do by turning it clockwise and then coming back up again until it hits the green zone. There we are. So it's telling me that that's an E and it's in tune. So the next string, remember, Eddie 8, it's an A and it's pretty much in tune. So the next one, Dynamite, D. So I'm going to tighten that one by turning it anti-clockwise. And if you can, you always want to come up to pitch. If your string is sharp, I would bring it down below pitch and then come back up again. It helps the guitar to maintain the tuning. So, good. Come on, camera, you can focus. So, I'm going to go to G. And then B. It's a little sharp, so we're going to come down. And we're going to come up to the B. And there's our high E, which is fine. So, the guitar is now in tune, and we're ready to play. If you don't have a headstock tuner at the moment, you can actually download apps onto your mobile device. I have one called Guitar Toolkit. I think that's what it's called. And it uses the microphone on your phone in the same way that the headstock tuner works. Well, actually not the same way. It looks the same. It doesn't work in the same way because the headstock tuner isn't using a microphone, it's using vibration. Frequency vibrations from the guitar itself. Is it called Guitar Toolkit? Yes, it is, Guitar Toolkit. It has more than a tuner built in. It also has chord charts and stuff like that too. I think it's a paid app though. Can't remember how much it was, but it's a good app. You can also go online and just search for guitar tuner in Google and you'll find one which will play the pitches for you. I've used that a lot. There's one called gettuned.com, I think. And it's good because you can change if you're playing in altered tunings, which we're not going to go to for a while if we ever do. But it's good. It plays the tone on your computer speakers and then you can tune your guitar to that. But since you've watched this far, and for that I thank you, I'm going to play you the notes and you can tune to my guitar, okay? So E, A, D, G, B, and E. Okay, so you've got your guitar ready. Come back again tomorrow and we will learn how to play something. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Right, I know I'm still live, but if I'm going to publish that as a recorded video, that's the place I'm going to edit it out. Turn around, hit my switcher. That's pretty neat, eh? I'm liking that. It does other stuff that I haven't learned how to do, so I'll be able to bring up Facebook comments and stuff like that on the screen. If you're wondering what I'm using, it's called vMix. It seems to be the best option for Windows, which this is my Windows PC. If I switch these off, and yeah, it looks like my webcam is still in auto exposure mode. I switched that off last night. It's gone back on again, so that's a thing I'll need to check in future. Yeah, so as I said at the beginning, I'm going to try and go live every day at 4. I'm going to set a reminder, put it in my calendar, because I want to be giving something out. I know everyone's sitting at home going crazy, and I love music. I know how much it helps me, and I just hope that I'm able to share that with you and give you something to make you feel better. Alright, so if you enjoyed this, let your friends know. There's no limit on how many people can sign in. It's not behind a paywall or anything like that, so you can just jump in anytime you want. And if, as I said, if there are any songs that you would like to learn, let me know. I usually don't play requests. I don't play the hits, as Craig will tell you. Isn't that right, Craig? But if I know the song, I will endeavour to teach it. And if I don't know the song, that might give me some learning to do as well. I'm spending a lot of time on my computer at the moment doing social media training, SEO training, marketing training, and it's getting a bit much, to be honest. I need something to take me away from that, which is not the dogs. The dogs are fantastic. I'm about to take them out now, actually. I'm going to go up the hill and get some exercise. Up the Lamlash Hill, not down it. So we'll get the old heart rate going. Anyway, I'm blabbering on now, so I will kill the stream. I will say thank you for watching if you have, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.